We're here tonight. We're presenting our 10th anniversary production of Curious as Driven Snow. I hope you all enjoy it. Thanks for coming.
Something like that.
Oh, the least you could do is stay home so you could help me with the chores. Why, I've had to cook and serve the supper all by myself.
Well, there ain't nobody to cook for except you and our nephew Leander.
Oh, it's all you know about it. Well, you was out gallivanting all across Canada. 2 women folks came here to stay.
2 folks are staying here till you land in? Ain't nothing wrong with them, is there?
There ain't nothing the matter with them.
Well, there will be if they're going to eat the meals around here with you doing the cooking. Why, Ma?
Why, it's a young gal and her ma. And why, they've been in there stuffing themselves with victuals for over an hour now.
They'll be regretting that come tomorrow, if you know what I mean.
Well, they keep on eating like that. I'm going to charge them extra.
You better charge them for 2 bottles of soda tablets.
Shut up, ain't ya? They're coming out of the dining room at last.
I agree with you, Allison. The atmosphere is atrocious. We can't leave it this store. This is great.
Well, what'd she say, Ma?
Shut up, ain't you?
But, Mama, this place is so gloomy. It's just crazy. You should have known it would have been dreadful, judging by its name. What is it called? I forgot. So have I. What is the name of the place again?
Why, you landed.
Well, I don't like Mrs. Euland's cooking at all. Neither do I, Mama.
Well, now, Mrs. Euland, now she's been in her grave these many years, but she started this thing going, and it's always kept her name. Why, I reckon that was 75 years ago.
Really? And no doubt you were in her employ at that time and helped her to establish this inn.
That's one on you, Ma.
I told you to keep quiet, didn't I?
Well, who runs the inn now?
Well,
I do.
Well, Pa here's supposed to. But I've been doing the work around here these past 15 years.
Well, if you expect us to stay on here, you're going to have to do something to improve the food. The coffee was particularly upsetting. That's right, Mama. It was simply dreadful.
Well, what's the matter with the coffee?
Why, everything. It tasted sickening.
Hey, I wouldn't be picking on the coffee if I were you, ma'am. Someday you might be weak, too.
Are there any other guests here present?
No boys around here, if that's what you mean.
Will you keep still?
My little treasure is much too young up to even any interest in boys. Why, she has the mind of a child.
Yeah, looks like it runs in the family to me.
I know I'm not going to like it here, Mama.
Well, now, I reckon our nephew will be glad to help you pass the time away, miss. Though he ain't much old ladies, man.
Boy, I'll say not only Andrew ain't so much as looked at a gal all his life. I wish I raised myself to be more like him.
Why, I'm sure that my little cat would not be interested in your nephew.
Whoa! Now, there ain't never been a nobler fellow than our Leander. Why, he's got himself a fine job, too.
Really? And what does this Leander person do for a living?
Why, he's got full charge of the biggest pickle factory in all of Vermont.
A pickle factory? Of course.
Boy, ain't you ever heard of Pickens Pickles, man? Why, right on their label it reads, we'll give you a thrill to the very last dill.
No doubt. Come, Cass, I think it's time that we retire to our chase.
Well, now, you expecting your husband to join you here, ma'am?
No, Mr. Hewlett passed away some time ago. He's no longer on this earth.
And I'll bet a cookie he prayed to go, too.
I'm glad there aren't any male guests here, Mama. They'd be bound to annoy you by begging you to marry them as they always do.
My little treasure is so observant. I'm forever having to dissuade male suitors. But I promised my little pet that I shan't marry again for ever so long. But I have plenty of time for that.
Why, that's right up old Cactus Plant thinks she's a bachelor's butt.
Come along, Mama. We'll have a few games of punch.
Who'd she say was cheesy, Ma?
Perhaps in the morning the store will open. Then we'll be at liberty to pursue more congenial surroundings.
Well, now, imagine that. Complaining about the food, why, when it's all I can do but to make both ends meet. Why, what with the price of meat being 12 cents a pound, and eggs, why, eggs selling at the outlandish price of 10 cents a dozen. I declare I don't know what this country's a coming to.
Oh, now, Ma, don't go get yourself all upset over it. For heaven's sake, something to worry.
Jonathan Logan,
What?
where do you think you're going to now?
Well, I thought I'd go up to the barn to check on the...
Well, you just got yourself another thing a-coming. You just march yourself out into that kitchen and wash up them dishes.
Yeah, I don't want to do no dishes, Ma.
You hear what I said now, Kit?
Oh, right. One little weekend in Canada, and I got to spend the rest of my life in the kitchen.
You heard what I said? When you're in there, don't forget when you're washing them dishes, keep your hands out of the water as much as you can. I want them dishes as clean as possible. I hear enough out of you now, Mark.
Oh, hey there, what's the hole? Here's our brave Leander now! What a night! What a
Good to have you safe to home. Why, I was worrying for fear that the storm would bring you some harm.
Why, shucks, Aunt. I didn't see the storm yet I was afeard of.
Land sakes, but you are so brave and noble, nephew.
Well, I reckon I am, but I can't help it. I was born that way. If you want to stay that way, don't ever get married. I'm doing good. Even up to today, anyhow. Well, I've been doing the thing.
He's been up to the same thing that he's been doing since the day I married him. Loafing.
Now, that ain't take so long. I've been telling you some business. But tell me, lady, well, how come you're so late coming home from the factory?
Well, I was working on my new invention, Uncle. I tell you, it's going to make us all rich one day when I get it on the market.
You think it will, really?
Yeah, well, a few more days of steady work on it and be ready to pack.
Well, it won't do me no good. I won't be here to enjoy it. Every bone in my body aches. From all the hard work I did this evening.
Now, cheer up, Aunt. Tomorrow I got a bit of time to fetch you a new hired gal. Yeah, you got to have company. You're going to have some help because we got company coming here.
Company coming?
Yeah.
Anybody we know?
Yeah, my boss is coming up here and watch us a few days. He's going to be at the inn here a few days and he's going to be watching the factory.
Land sakes, Mr. Pickens coming here? Why, do tell.
Is she going to bring that daughter of his with her?
didn't make no mention over in his letter, Uncle, so I kind of think he's coming along this time.
Well, now, if I know female, she ain't coming by herself. Why, last time Imogene Pickens was up there with her uncle, boy, she was so smitten, I knew I just can't believe it. I bet you could have married her if you wanted to.
You mustn't say such things, Bob. She's worth a fortune. I'm just a poor working boy in her eyes.
Oh, that don't make no difference.
Jonathan Logan, are you gonna stop that babbling or ain't you? I reckon when it comes time for Leander to take a wife, he'll pick one for himself.
Maybe he will, Ma, and maybe he won't. But this Imogene Pickens has got Leander all picked out already. Just like you picked me out and had me marching down the aisle, right up to the altar, before I even knew what was happening.
Oh, you gonna wash them dishes, didn't I? It'll be a sorry day for you if I gotta remind you of it one more time.
Oh, God, doggone you, drive me nuts.
Oh, precious man! By the time I finally get him to do any work, why he's got so riled up in my fist as well as in myself.
Take it easy, and he just gets a heap of fun on the teaching you, that's all. Relax.
Well, I'll tell you, Leander, that man better mend his ways.
Hey, now, we got something to eat. I can sure do it. A few glasses of maybe some buttermilk?
Land sakes, I forgot Jane had nothing to eat. Well, you come with me, because I got 3 whole gooseberry pies. I fixed them special for you. Of course, I had to pick the berries, and then I had
Wow, nice.
This world without it is nothing compared to the tumult that is raging within my breast. I, Purity Dean, a mere working girl, have been forced to take the blind plunge into the whirlpool of life, and I don't know where it will emerge or how. And with this fearful secret that is weighing me down, I have lived in this world but have not been part of it. Mine has been a place apart and sheathed in purity. Oh, if I could only find shelter for the night, perhaps in the morning I could find the strength to go on. I shall ring yon bell. There must be someone on here. Oh, I think I'm feeling faint. What should I do? Merciful heavens, help me!
Come on, Rick. So, wow, it's a gal. And she's fainted. Well, Uncle Jonathan, come quick and bring a glass of water with you.
You call me, laddie?
I found a strange girl here. Look at her. She's fainted dead away.
Fainted? What'd she faint? She tell you?
She didn't able to speak. She fainted when I found her here.
Boy, right and pretty, ain't she? I wonder who she is.
Would you bring a glass of water with you?
Oh, she gets down. Hey, Mom, bring a glass of water with you.
Boy, this ain't no time for a gal to be out alone in the storm.
Why, she's coming back to life.
Where am I? What's happened?
Oh, don't talk till you feel better. You're gonna be okay.
Why, what's going on? Why, what's the trouble?
Oh, nothing. Gal fainted, that's all, Ma.
Oh, I'm sorry I put you all so much trouble.
Oh, no trouble at all. You want to register and check in here? Have a room?
Well,
Well, now, I don't think you ought to be going out in such a storm. Why, what if you would have fainted out there?
oh, I don't know what to do or which way to turn.
Well, where'd you come from, gal?
I come from nowhere.
Well, where are you headed? Where are you going to?
I'm going anywhere. Anywhere that I can find peace and a place to lay my weary head.
Well, what's your name, gal?
Purity Dean.
Oh, Purity. How that name suits her. Wow, I can tell she's pure too.
Well, ain't you got no home to go to, gal?
No, I've no home at all. I'm just a humble working girl who's been tossed hither and yon on the relentless sea of life.
Well, land sakes, gal, but now that is a pity.
I'm sorry I caused you all so much trouble.
Why, shucks, I didn't do nothing to help you out or nothing.
Oh, but you have. How charming and winning his voice is.
can't call this door again tonight. Why don't you stay here at least till morning?
Oh, I'm afraid that's quite impossible, sir. You see, I am alone and penniless.
Well, land of gosh and gal, we ain't so poor, but what we can give you a roof for the night. We wouldn't send nobody out in such a storm.
Why, thank you, ma'am, but I'm afraid I could never bring myself to accept charity.
How proud she is, as proud as she is pure.
But my hooky, I just had an idea.
Well, you just keep it to yourself. We ain't got no time to be listening to your foolishness now.
Well, this ain't foolishness. Now, you just said you was a working gal, didn't you?
That's right. I'm just a humble working girl who's seeking employment so I can keep my body and soul together.
Yeah, I bet you're a real good working gal, too, ain't you?
Well, how did you know that?
Well, that was easy. I guessed it. Hey, now, Ma, you said you was looking for a gal to be hired around here. Well, why don't you hire her?
Well, now, Pa, that's the first sensible thing I hear you say in years. I was just thinking the same thing myself. What do you think, gal? Would you like to stay here with us and work around the inn?
Would I like it to have honest toilet and earn my living by helping others? Oh, yes, nothing could please me more.
Hey, what'd you think of that idea, Lanny? Wouldn't it be great to have Purity staying here with us? Sure.
Yeah, well, I tell you, it's a great idea. You know, the more I think of it, well, the more I think of it, that's all.
Well, then it's all settled. I got a nice room for you down here. I'm sure you're going to get along just fine. Now, you come along with me so that I get you an apron, and you can get to work as soon as you're able. Oh, she's a pretty little thing.
Boy, oh boy, I put one over on Ma that time right off the bat. Why, she'll be so busy watching out what Purity's looking for doing, she won't have the slightest idea what I'm up to. Got it, then, you old rascal.
Are you glad that I'm going to stay and work around the inn, Mister?
My name's Leander.
But I couldn't be so bold as to call you that.
Oh, why not? That's my name, Leander Longfellow.
Leander Longfellow, how poetic. How charming he is, and how his handsome face thrills me. Be still, my fluttering heart.
We're just plain folks around here. We ain't got no time for such high-toned talk like Mr. and Mrs. Well, you'll always be Purity and me, and I hope you always call me Leander.
Well, I will, of course, if it pleases you. Would that I could reveal my hideous past to him, but no, I dare not. I must keep that guilty knowledge locked within my heart forever. A working girl's secret.
So, won't you tell me something about yourself? God, your voice is pretty. I can feel myself fall for a whole line of secrets.
Why don't you tell me something about yourself instead? Do you work around here with your wife and family?
Oh, shucks, no, I got no wife and never did intend to have one till now.
Oh, Leander, you're so deary.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, but ever since I've seen you, something strange has come over me. I don't know what it is.
How dreadful. You don't think we ought to call a doctor, do you?
Well, I don't think a doctor could do me no good, but maybe you could help me out. You think I can just hold your hand a minute?
Oh, Leander, why, you mustn't be so forward. After all, you hardly know me.
Well, I can tell all I need to know by looking in your eyes. I can see you're the prettiest gal that's ever been around here.
You'll turn my head with your pretty speeches, I'm afraid. But you mustn't talk that way to me. You forget that I'm far beneath you in station. You have family and friends, but I'm alone in the world and with no one to protect me.
Hey, so you got me to protect you. If anybody says he does anything to insult you, they'll have to answer to me. Leander Longfellow.
How brave, how noble you are. Thank fortune that he cannot know the wretchedness that exists within my aching heart.
Why, someday I'm going to be rich and then...
Well, what do you do for a living? May I ask?
Well, I got charge of a big pickle factory.
A pickle factory? What a romantic calling.
Yeah, someday you want to go through, I'll take you.
I'd be glad to go anywhere with you, Leander.
Purity? Purity, gal? Why, what's the keeping you, child? Why, the sooner you get to work, why, the sooner you'll be through. Not that I want to rush you, you understand?
I'm sorry. I'll join you immediately.
It was my fault, Ann. I kept her here a while so we could get better acquainted. Why don't we all go in now?
Come on, follow me this way, gal.
Oh, come on, Purity.
What,
strange sentiments lurk beneath Leander's manly bosom. Why, he's a man among millions. But I mustn't let him become enamored of me. After a lifetime of misery, how happy I would be if I'm allowed to stay here free and unmolested. Could there be that there's a place for purity deed in this world after all?
No way.
Time alone will tell.
Everybody.
You want something there, mister?
Who runs this place?
Well, I do. Well, leastways I do with money around. You plan on spending the night here?
Do I look like a fly-by-night?
Ain't a flying stench then, am I?
I don't care how you address me. Has anyone inquired for me?
I wouldn't know. I don't know who you are. I've never seen you before. Who are you?
You mean you don't know who I am?
Nope. What's the matter? Don't you know either?
What do you take me for a fool, you fool?
I ain't never touched a man by his face before in all my life. Going over on that time right off the bat.
Never care how you address me. You are speaking to no less a person than the one and only Mortimer Frothingham.
Quite fancy name. And a long one, too. I don't know how you can remember it all at once. Wait a minute. I think I remember hearing about Mortimer Froth. I can't tell you where.
In the newspapers, no doubt. My name was prominently mentioned in connection with a $1 million real estate deal that I engineered recently. I must impress this old nincompoop with my importance in order to further my schemes.
$1 million deal? Yeah, you got anything more like that on tap?
Well, I don't suppose any harm can come from confiding in you. Nobody can hear us, can they? It might prove costly to me if this secret ever got out.
Well, there ain't a soul around here going to hear you. Why don't you go ahead and tell me what you was doing?
Well, I don't suppose any harm can come from confiding in you. You see, I intend to buy a large tract of land and erect a model factory. Not a very large proposition, this one. It would only involve between $4 or $5 million.
$4 or $5 million? Say, if I gave you some money, think you could invest it for me?
That's out of the question. I made up my mind years ago never to deal in other people's money. The old fool's playing right into my hands.
But I'm hoping that you will make it just this once. You see, I got some money saved up there that we were going to pay the mortgage off on this place. If I turn that money over to you to make a killing, well, just don't tell Mom nothing about it, that's all.
Well, I don't like dealing with small fry, but in your case, I promise to think the matter over. However, you mustn't raise your hopes up too high.
But you gotta promise me you won't tell Ma nothing. I don't want her to know nothing about this.
You need have no fear on that account. It's just as important to me as it is to you that the matter be kept secret.
Oh, I can't wait to. This is so good. Waking up in the morning, looking in the mirror, find old Jonathan Logan rich. Boy, if that ever happened to me, I wouldn't even know myself.
When I'm through with him, he won't want to know himself.
But you let me know real soon, won't you? I'm real anxious to find out.
Oh, yes, I'll arrive at a decision before many more hours roll over our heads.
Good.
I wonder why my man hasn't arrived yet.
Are you expecting somebody to meet you here?
My manservant is following me with my luggage. He should have been here by now.
Oh, well, then you'll be needing 2 rooms, won't you?
Yes, and mind you, the best room that the inn affords.
Oh, you've got that. Anything else you want, I'll take care of you right down the line. Oh, boy, Jonathan! Oh!
Little does he know that I intend to wrest this inn away from him when I am through with him to further my schemes. Soon, I will be rolling in wealth. This time, I cannot fail. girl, my thirst grows apace.
Mortimer Frothingham, you?
Yes, Purity, it is I. Did you think that you could escape?
Ah! If you advance one step further, I shall call for aid.
Why, Purity, I can hardly understand why you should so fear me and why you ran away so secretly.
As if you didn't know. I ran away because you insisted on forcing your unwelcome attentions upon me. The gypsy fortune teller warned me this villain would continue to pursue me.
But certainly a working girl such as you should be impressed with the affections of a man of my rank.
You were rank enough to pretend you cared for me, and all the while you were ensnaring others into your web. I know all about Bertha, the sewing machine girl, and I have positive proof that you are married to Nellie, the beautiful cloak model. You, Mortimer Frothingham, are the reason why girls leave home.
Tut, 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 tut. Am I to play blame if girls find me fascinating? I never took poor Bertha seriously, nor have I ever been married to Nellie. It is idle gossip, I assure you.
I care nothing of your affairs, sir. I left my good position at the canning factory to escape you and your kind, and now I demand that you leave here and get out of my sight.
But
No but! Either you shall leave here or I shall. No roof is big enough to harbor the both of us.
that is up to you, my brown beauty, for I intend to stay here for some time to come.
And I shall be forced to go out to the cold, cruel world and battle for my existence. I who am thirsting for a home and a pure, clean life.
I will not permit you to go out this door. Listen to the thunder. Listen to the thunder. I'll teach you to care for me, Purity. Really, I will. Oh, I know I've been a trifle wild over these past few years, but that's all over and done with now. Come, Purity. Fly away with me. There's the thunder there!
I have never trusted you, nor have I ever listened to your pleas that I read you with willing ears. Do you expect me to marry a man I do not love? You forget that I have positive proof of your duplicity and villainy.
Oh, Purity, but I'm a changed man. If you'd but only give me your love, it will make a lamb out of me.
Bad chance.
Say no more. But won't you please leave me to my newfound happiness? I will plead on bended knee if you will only grant me my request.
I have set my heart on having you, girl, and nothing shall thwart me from my purpose.
I shall go and carry my misery away from here forever.
As you will. But remember, wherever you go, I shall follow. If I have to pursue you to the end of the world, you must. You shall be mine.
Never! Not in this world or the next!
That is up to you. But remember, there are more ways than one to skin a cat. I will bend you to my will, or you'll be reduced to rags and tatters.
Rags are royal raiment, but it won't for virtue's sake.
Jonathan here. Why, Purity, you've been crying. What's trouble?
Your new maid was just complaining of a headache. If she'll follow the course I've just prescribed for her, she'll feel better in no time.
Has anybody said or done nothing to hurt you, Purity?
Well,
Because if they have, I'll knock them down with my own 2 fists.
no, Leander, please! I won't have you fighting over me.
What a fortunate miss she is to have such a brave protector. A very fine speech indeed.
I don't know nothing about fine speeches, but I do know how to thrash anybody who insults Purity.
Leander, please say no more. I entreat you.
Let us hope your new maid appreciates your interest in her. Well, if you'll excuse me, young man, I think I'll go upstairs and check out my quarters. I hope I'll have the pleasure of seeing you again, young man.
You will if you're going to be around here. I live here.
I thought so. It must have been a dull and tiresome experience before this new maid arrived. I wish you much happiness in your newfound companionship.
I don't like that feller's look. Who is he?
Why, he's a guest here. If he but knew how Mortimer Frothingham has been hounding me, why, he'd thrash him within an inch of his life. I must do everything in my power to avert such a tragedy.
What was he saying to you before I come in here?
Why, he was, must we discuss him? It's a subject not at all to my liking.
Oh, I'm sorry, Purity. I reckon I don't know how to talk to cows. I'm always saying the wrong thing.
Oh, indeed you're not. Why, your speech proclaims you to be a true gentleman at all times. One of nature's true noblemen. How can I best break the news of my coming departure to him? I must do so gently, and so not to disturb him so.
Why, you and me are going to have a great time together, Purity. Tomorrow I'm going to hitch up
But I won't be here tomorrow!
Won't be here, but you promised to stay and work.
That was before.
Before what? Has Aunt Zeba been nasty to you?
Oh, no, indeed. She's a darling. You see, I might be called away from here any time now.
You're called away by who? You don't have no family, do you?
No, I've not a soul in this world to call my own.
Then you're going to stay right here.
Suppose, Leander, suppose that I'm not everything you think I am. What if there were some dark shadow hanging over me?
Well, all the more reason why you should stay here and let me look after you. Why, I'll chase away any old dark shadow that's bothering you as long as you promise me don't leave here without telling me first.
Purity, gal. Why, I got some work for you to do. My one gal will take
Oh, no, Leander, I mustn't tarry longer. You forget that I'm just a working girl whose time is not wrong.
Hey, Larry, we got us a bonanza! Oh, my!
She's as pretty as a little bird.
Who? What?
Uncle Jonathan, you and Aunt Zema got married. How much money y'all have?
Why, we didn't have a cent to our name. Here, Purity, as smart as I think she is, she won't care when he got any money either.
Hey, wait a minute, what makes you think I'm thinking about marrying Purity?
Oh, that's easy. I guessed it.
I ain't got a whole lot of money. I mean, I got a little bit put away and all, but it takes a heap of money to get married nowadays, don't it?
Larry, when two folks fall in love and want to get married, it don't make no difference if they got a brass band. All they need is a gold band.
Suffering Patrick! What a night!
Oh, my master's arrived at last. What detained you so long?
What's this blasted storm? I thought I'd never get here.
That's the big boss, Mortimer Frothingham. And the one that just got here, that's the servant. Will you have some food prepared for my servant? I'm sure he's hungry after this long journey. Oh, you betcha. I'll have Marv fix up something real quick.
Say, what's the idea of telling these people I'm your servant?
And since when has Jed Lund taken to questioning the actions of his superior? I had to invent some excuse for me being here, didn't I? These stupid fools would have started asking a lot of embarrassing questions.
Well, I'll not be staying here any longer than I have to.
Oh, no? I think you'll reconsider once we've had a chance to talk the matter over. Or perhaps you'd like to spend another long term in jail.
Shh! Be careful of what you say. Somebody might hear you. Even these walls have ears.
Have no fear, they're plastic.
Listen, I was going straight, and you know I was. Then I run into you by accident, and you got me to do your bid.
And you'll continue to do my work for as long as I say. I have enough manufactured evidence in my possession to send you back to prison for years. Did you get the baby and bring it here as I instructed you?
Yeah, I even kidnapped the baby because you got me to do your dirty work. I ain't been no angel up to now, Frothingham, but I've never stooped so low as to steal a child before.
Enough, I say! Where is the baby now?
Babe's out there in the barn. I couldn't leave a child out on a night like this. Want me to bring it in?
Certainly not, you fool. The babe must not be suspected to be with us. It must be discovered by someone apart from us.
Yeah, but what if they find out I did the job and they trace me here?
There's not the slightest chance of that. The babe has no father, and the mother is in the hospital ailing. It was sheer genius on my part to have you so firmly entrenched in the affections of the babe's maid that they'll never discover it was you who took the babe.
I've met some dirty low-down sneaks in my time, Frothingham, but you're the blackest crook I ever saw.
One more word like that from you, gentlemen, and you'll regret the day that you were home.
All right, I'll do what you say because I have to. You got the upper hand on me, but why do I have to stay here now?
Because I need your help in furthering my present schemes. You see, I intend to get the deed from Old Man Lowe. Now, I need your help. I may not have enough ready cash at the present moment, but I have enough plans up my sleeves to discover. I want you to watch the maid here. You understand? She is not to leave the premise.
I understand all right. Say, is there any place here where I can watch us?
You'll find your quarters at the top of the stairs and to the right. Oh, and one more thing, Lon. I am posing here with a man of wealth and position. And I expect you, since you are supposedly my servant, to treat me with much courtesy and deference. Do you understand?
I understand all right. I don't think getting me two hands around that white throat of his. I choked the daylights out of that black-hearted snake. Do it!
Back to prison for years when I am through with him. Once I get the money from the babe's mother, I shall be rid of him forever and live like a king. What of a Frothingham? You are riding on the crest of the wave at last.
How you doing, E.C.? Where's your pa? Didn't he come with you?
No, Dad got detained in town on business. Something to do with pickles. Sent me up here instead to look over that. No, worse luck. Sister Imogene insisted on coming along. Well, I'll never know the reason why. She wouldn't even come in until she powdered her nose. Make herself look presentable. Wonder where that girl is. Here she comes now.
What a night!
That's something you
Leander, how charming to see you after such a long.
Hi, Miss Pickens.
Quite well, thank you. He is handsomer than ever. Does my face betray my admiration for him? If only I could awaken the spark of love within his heart, how happy I would be.
Oh, sakes alive, I forgot to feed the old gray mare. Excuse me, folks.
Say, this may not be such a bad night after all.
Mama sent me down to inquire what time breakfast will be.
Anytime you like, I'll cook it for you. Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Easy Pickens.
My name is Allison.
Well, Allison, I would like to have a word with you. Perhaps several words. Would you step right this way to my private office?
Jonathan! Jonathan! Logan, I declare that I'm wise. It ain't Miss Pickens. How do?
Quite well, thank you.
Oh, Jonathan. Hey, Mark. Joe, Is there no in the basket, laddie? Nothing except the baby.
What is it, Leander?
Well,
What have you there?
well, Leander, he found that basket there out in the barn.
But what's inside? Why, it's a bag.
You can't leave it here. It's preposterous.
Would you cast a waif adrift on a night like this? Oh, you couldn't do such a dreadful thing. We'll keep it here until morning at least, and perhaps its fond parents will come in search of their offspring.
Yeah, Purity's right. We gotta show this baby some shelter on a night like this, same as we show any human. Well, yeah, but maybe I better go look out the barn. Maybe there's a twin out there or something.
Mrs. Logan, show me to my room, please. I'm quite fatigued after a long journey.
Oh, I'll just bet you are. Sure, come on this way. Walk this way, gal. Come on. Come on, pick it up. Walk this way. Right up here now.
Oh, you poor little treasure. How could anyone cast you out in a cold barn alone and neglected? Are your loved ones searching the countryside for you even now? Or are you, alas, alone in the world like me, with no mother to guide you? The pity of it.
Purity. What a lovely picture of domesticity. You've never looked lovelier.
I've no time to bother words with you now.
Oh, but I insist you listen to me. You must.
Listen to the words of a blackguard? No, I would not put that shame upon my ears.
Oh, I know you've lost your heart to that country bumpkin who spends his life sorting out pickles. What possible interest could you have in such a low fellow?
He is as far above you as the sky is above the earth. Why, a face man like you wouldn't know a noble one.
Have a care, girl. I have a nasty temper when I'm aroused.
We don't count you, silly. Go, or I'll summon the end little fellow and he'll give you the thrashing you so richly deserve.
Another word like that and I'll...
Stop! Wouldn't you hurt a defenseless woman with a babe in her arms? Yes.
A showdown between us, Purity. I'm asking you to reconsider and accept my offer. Will you be mine?
No! No! 1,000 times no!
Then you are doomed, for I will devote all my resources to breaking your proud spirit until you grovel at the dust at my feet. Your name shall be disgraced, and you shall become a social outcast.
Do your worst, Mortimer Frothingham. I defy you. For heaven will protect the working girl.
Some time to come. But seriously, Allison, have you told your mother how crazy I am about you?
Oh, I mentioned it to Mama.
And what was the fair damsel's reply?
She said she finished raising her family and wasn't thinking of starting another kindergarten.
Oh, but you told her how fascinating you think I am. You think I'm fascinating, don't you?
I don't know what you are.
Well, you may not believe me, but I'm a most unusual fellow. Why, when I was born, I was merely a baby. I'll tell you, funny things have happened to me. Why, at the early age of 1 minute, I howled to see the world.
You're the most provoking boy I've ever met.
Oh, I affect all the girls that way. I come up with the tears because they all can't have me. But if the two more than my dynamic personality is the reason for it for me, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I have a very fine family.
Oh, do you?
Oh, I should say that again. One of the finest families in the world. Why, look at this high forehead. See the straight nose?
I suppose that runs in the family too, does it?
Only when I have a cold.
These ingredients are simply impossible.
we know it's 6 o'clock. Now, as I was about to say. Well, maybe it's making up for lost time. As I was about to remark, what would your mother say if I asked her for your hand in marriage?
Oh, I'm not sure. She'd probably ask you about your finances. Have you a steady income?
Oh, I make enough to cover living expenses.
What are your living expenses, GC?
I wouldn't know about that. You see, I'm not through living yet.
I'd rather you didn't speak to Mother for a while. We have plenty of time.
Well, maybe you have, but I don't. I want to make sure you get me for a husband before somebody else lands me. Now I'm through discussing. I've made up my mind. I'm going to speak to your mother immediately.
But I'm afraid she won't give her consent.
Oh, I haven't met a woman yet that I can't talk into anything. Don't worry, Allison. Your mother will be honey in my hands.
You've only been younger than what
I refuse to discuss it anymore. The instant I see your mother, I shall say to her,
Well, young man, what have you to say to me?
that is, I was about to say,
Proceed, go on.
yes, I was about to say, you're looking wonderful.
Thank you. Does Mother's little pet know what we're having for dinner this evening?
Mrs. Logan said we were having a few different kinds of fish. Mr. Logan caught this afternoon.
Fish, eh? I remember fish help make your brains grow.
You know,
Of course, if that's true that fish make your brains grow, then I wonder what kind of fish I ought to have tonight.
one would hardly expect them to serve whale, young man.
Hey, how's Mickey?
Not too good.
Mr. Logan, what are the size of the fish they catch around here?
Well, now that all depends on who catches them. You know, around that time, right off the bat. Why'd you come to me, Pickens? You look like you're swimming upstream here, pal.
I will, General.
Allison, how many times must Mother tell you not to associate with that Pickens creature?
But Mama, I like him. We've fun together.
The boy is crude and unmannerly. He's really terribly gauche. I simply will not have you associate with him.
I see you spend a great deal of time with his sister.
Why, Emma Jean has breeding and refinement.
I think she's a dreadful pain.
Really, Allison, such language. Where on earth have you heard talk like that?
From Easy. Really, Mama. He's so funny. He always makes me laugh.
Like a clown in a circus, no doubt. That's what he reminds me of.
I think he's awfully cute. Of course, I haven't accepted him yet. He proposed to me 2 days ago, but I haven't given him my answer yet.
What? My daughter married to the family of pickles? I mean, she married to the son of a pickle dealer? Horrors! Yes, double horrors! Oh, why didn't we leave here the morning after we arrived?
We would have if you hadn't spied Mortimer Frothingham. We were on the verge of leaving when you took one look at him and decided to stay.
Mr. Frothingham is the very peak of aristocratic perfection. Why, he's a tycoon.
I heard his male servant call him something, but I'm sure it wasn't that.
Why, Mr. Frothingham, there you are. My little pet was just commenting on your distinguished appearance.
Mama, I was not.
Not another word. Go upstairs and comb your hair before dinner.
But I already did call Mama.
Do as you're told, you hear me? You know, Mother doesn't like her little pet to be disobedient.
Well, all right, I'll go. But you always use my hair as an excuse to send me to the room. It doesn't need combing that often.
Dear me, it is so difficult for a lone woman to raise a child properly. I'm afraid my little pet needs a father's discipline and guidance.
Dear lady, you shouldn't have any problem finding a father for her. The old bore? Is she going to propose to me or what? I wonder.
Do you really mean that?
Of course I do. Ah, dear lady, your smile transplants me to the very peak of yonder mountains.
Oh, then I shall frown, for I wouldn't want to send you so far away from me. But do come and sit here beside me.
Oh, how kind you are. But dear lady, do you think it fair to subject me to the ordeal of sitting so close to so much Radiance?
Do you mean you wouldn't dare sit beside me?
Oh, dear lady, you guessed my secret. You are as wise as you are lovely. The empty-headed poor. If I sat next to her, I'd be apt to fall asleep.
Well, girl, what is it? What do you want?
Mrs. Logan asked me to look for something that she mislaid.
Just a minute, girl. How much longer is that bawling infant going to be allowed to remain at the inn?
Oh, I'm so sorry that the baby disturbed you, ma'am, but I do hope it doesn't happen again.
Well, if the other guests have not registered a complaint, then I shall do so. I refuse to have the remainder of my stay here inconvenienced. And having a crying infant disturb my rest is not to my liking. The baby must leave here at once.
I shall fight with all my heart to retain the poor little one and lavish all my tenderness upon her.
Have a care, girl. Remember whom you are speaking to. Have you forgotten my proud position? You are nobody, a mere working girl.
And therefore am all the more entitled to the respect of every real lady, and to the protection of every true gentleman.
Mr. Frothingham, I appeal to you to protect me from this servant's insult.
After all, dear lady, we mustn't expect too much from poor unfortunates like this girl who haven't enjoyed our advantages.
If he's missed any advantages, it hasn't been his fault. Have you so forgotten that you are a mother? Oh, doesn't your heart ache when you think of your own little girl might have been placed in the same position as the babe you're trying to reject from here?
How dare you mention my little Allison in the same breath as that old foundling?
I see that it's impossible to appeal to you for tolerance. I do hope you won't fare too harshly when judged by the higher one. I, for one, forgive you freely.
You? You forgive me? You, a penniless adventuress? I've seen you exert your wiles in an effort to ensnare Leander Longfellow. Why, he's turned your head with his fine speeches and his flowery phrases. Mr. Frothingham, sir, I must beg you to excuse me. I simply cannot endure this servant's presence another moment.
Is this some more of your trickery, Mortimer Frothingham? Have you deliberately started that heartless woman in her war against the babe who's being sheltered here?
You wrong me, Purity. Really you do. You know that I would never stoop to such a thing.
You would never stoop. You're so low, you'd skin a flea just to get the tallow.
Why have you avoided me of late? Why, this is the very first time you've spoken to me all week.
Have you forgotten the insults you hurled at me in this very room just a week ago when you threatened to disgrace me?
But certainly such a small thing like that shouldn't cause you to shrink away each time you saw me. Come. I'm willing to let bygones be bygones. Come. Let us shake hands and be friends.
I assume shake hands with a snake. Do you think I'm so easy to all such a chance friendship? How do I know that you're not now planning some fresh villainy against me?
Purity, I can't understand why you should so fear me just because I lost my temper. The truth
Yes,
is...
yes, let me have the truth from you once if you can.
Purity, I've decided to take you into my confidence. Over the past few weeks, my fortune has grown by leaps and bounds. You see standing before you, one of the wealthiest men in the land.
If you had as much gold as you do brass, why you'd be twice as wealthy. Proceed, sir.
I am prepared to offer you 1/2 of my wealth. It will be transferred to you upon one condition.
And that is?
That you marry me here and now, at the church at the foot of the hill. Will she fall for my bait? I have a mock ceremony all prepared.
You would go for a ceremony that would make a diamond wife in the eyes of the world?
On her improved appearance, she looks lovelier than ever.
What do you mean by that? You ain't never seen her before you come here, have you?
I meant, of course, that she looks better today than she has any time since I've arrived here.
Is he speaking the truth, Purity? Is that what he was saying?
Well, of course I'm speaking the truth. Why, your new maid and I, Purity, I mean Miss Dean, we were just exchanging a little badinage. I was asking her if the mountain air was entirely responsible for the roses that have found her way to her cheeks.
I don't like her. You might as well know it. Why, for truth's sake.
No, Leander, please! If it becomes known that you and Mr. Crowley have been fighting over me, why I'll have to leave this in forever!
Yes, Longfellow, it's a fortunate thing for you that I am gentleman enough to protect Miss Dean's good name. I hope you'll apologize to your aunt's maid for putting her in such an embarrassing position.
Sorry, I lost my temper just now, Purity, but the sight of that, I just rattles me so after.
I know what you mean. He has the same effect on me.
Don't you like him neither?
Like him? Why, if there were only words enough to express my loathing of him, why, if he would just leave here, I'd be the happiest girl in the world.
Well, then I'm going to throw him out of here right now, bags and baggage.
No, Leander, wait! You mustn't do such a thing.
Well, no, I suppose not, but still, to make you happy, I'll throw him out anyway.
No, wait! You forget that Mr. Crowley is a wealthy man, while I am just a poor servant. Come, sit beside me.
You got my lesson ready for us to go to see the Purity? It sure beats all much up. Start next Well, no, I don't know it all yet, but I'll get it soon enough. You can touch your feller with your attitude, Purity.
Well, how much of the alphabet have you memorized?
I could go from A to about Z, but I'll get the rest of it soon enough.
What a great scholar he is! Why, his very soul just thirsts for knowledge.
Oh, I wrote a piece of poetry for you today. You want to hear it?
Why, I'd love to.
Gotta brag here. I love to live and I live to love. Come live with me and be my love.
That's one of the most beautiful sentences I've ever heard put into words.
Well, I wrote it just for you. You want to keep it?
Why, I'd love to. And now I'll always have something to remember you by.
Well, remember me by, which you ain't gonna need nothing to remember me by, because we're always gonna be together. Now, you ain't planning on leaving here now anymore, are you?
Well, no, unless...
Unless what?
Well, Mrs. Sheila threatens to leave the inn unless the baby we've been sheltering here is sent away.
Drat that female, why can't you mind her own affairs?
And if you're both so determined to send the poor little one away, why, I'll have to go with her and take her somewhere and find a job so I can raise her properly.
Purity, you can't leave. I won't let you go.
Oh, Leander, but I'll have to go, you see. Ever since I've been taking care of that little light wife, she's just crept into my heart.
Same as you crept into mine, Purity.
Oh, Leander, you promised not to speak to me such words again. Would that I could become Mrs. Leander Longfellow. Why, the very thought of being married to him, why, I feel like I'm on a cloud of gossamer lace.
I gotta get this out of my system, Purity. Well, I've tried hard to put you out of my mind, but I just can't. You know, even when I'm shaving, my heart goes right on the raven. And when I'm down at the pickle factory, sorting out the pickles, why, your face comes between me and the pickles even.
You mean that you really think of me down in that lovely pickle factory?
I sure do, my God.
Oh, would that I could become Mrs. Leander Longfellow. But alas, no, that can never, never be.
Why won't you marry me? Is it because I ain't got a lot of money?
Oh, no! Money doesn't enter into it at all.
Well, 'cause someday I'm going to have a lot of money and when my invention gets sold.
No, Leander, you mustn't speak that way, you see. I can't marry anyone with this wretched secret hanging over my head. No, there can never be any way of bliss for Purity Dean.
Well, how could you marry me? Because of the secret?
Yes,
you? That's so, and I told you the pies was all marked on top, so you could tell which was which.
Right, but you said that mincemeat pies are marked with the letters TM. And I found that all the pies are marked with those same letters.
Well, that's so. TM stands for tis mince on the mince pie, and for taint mince on the others. Where is that good run-up-and low we got to now?
He's up in the barn probably, and I think you were holding those reins a little too tight.
Well, I'll tell you, Leander, that man be a stray horse with no place to pasture. If it weren't for me, hold on the reins good and tight. Come on along with me, gal, and I'll show you which tis mince and which taint, which you can tell the TM from the top.
There's Leander now. What perverse fate keeps him from me? I would gladly give up wealth, family, home, and friends, if only he would bestow one of his smiles upon me.
Oh, Miss Pickens, how swell you're looking.
Flatterer. It is the very first time he has ever commented on my appearance. Can it be that he has come to care for me at last?
I'm glad you're here because I wanted to ask you about something.
Really? What is it? My woman's heart tells me he has something on his mind. Can it be he's going to confess his love for me and beg me to be his forever?
Set, won't you?
Yes, thank you. You're so kind and gallant, Leander.
A little warm in here, ain't it?
Yes, it is, but do tell me what you wanted to ask me. The suspense is terrible.
Well, you sure you won't think it's fresh for a feller who's working for your pa and all to ask you about something? Or
Forget that I'm Imogene Pickens, and just remember that I am your true friend. I wouldn't be angry at anything you wish to ask me. He's going to propose. My entire life, nay, my very existence depends on winning him for my own.
Well, you see, it's this way. I'm in love for the first and only time in my whole life.
Now I know my hour of triumph is in hand. I understand. You finally realized that man is not intended to live alone, and you found the one girl for you, but you're too shy to ask her. Don't be, Leander. I'm sure she'll accept you.
Oh, but you see, I just don't know.
You mustn't hesitate. Women love their men to be forceful and direct.
But you see, I just can't
Take
seem...
heart there, one fair lady, my friend. Tell me, do I know this woman of your dreams?
Oh, yeah, you know her.
I thought so. There can be no doubt of it now. I've won him for my own.
But you see, I just can't seem to tell her.
Leander Longfellow, you can't expect me to propose to this girl for you, can you?
Oh, I've already popped to her a few times.
What? You what?
Well, what's the matter? You look sick there.
You mean you're in love with some girl here in this inn?
Of course, if she wasn't here, I wouldn't have known her. You look sick again.
Temporary pain around my heart. I've had it once before.
Oh, now you're all mad at me, ain't you, for talking to you about this?
Tell me, who is this girl whom you fancy you love?
Well, I've fallen in love with Purity.
What is this nonsense? I can't believe my ears.
Well, it ain't no nonsense. I mean, I know Purity's only worked here a week, you know, but the more I see her, the more anxious I am to marry her.
But it's preposterous to even consider such a union. Why, how dare you say such a thing? You, the superintendent of a pickle factory, contemplating marriage with someone so far beneath you, a servant.
Then you won't talk to her and get her to change her mind?
No power on earth could compel me to do such a thing.
Oh, gosh, I know I was wrong in asking you to talk to her. Now you're all mad at me, ain't you?
Say rather that I'm disappointed. Honor is everything, Leander. It ranks above life and love. Why, you tarnish the good name of Longfellow by considering marrying someone so far beneath you. A mere working girl.
Well, I'm a working man, ain't I? Why shouldn't I marry a working girl if I want her? Why, Purity's the smartest and prettiest girl I've ever seen. Why, reckon I could get her to marry her myself.
There must be something I can do to prevent you from throwing your life away on this girl.
Nothing you can say will stop me from marrying her. She'll have me.
We shall see. For little does he know of the torrent of hatred he has unleashed in my heart against this upstart of a man.
Must forgive me, Leander, if I seem a trifle upset. It's just that I only had your best interests at heart.
Oh, then you ain't put out of me?
Of course not. On second thought, I've changed my mind. I will speak to this little maid for you and try to find out her secret. Only I doubt that she has one. It's probably just an excuse to lead you on.
Oh, never. Purity wouldn't do that.
That's what you think. Most men don't know what a woman was owed to when she wishes to ensnare a man. Love is blind, Leander, and you're a trifle blinder than most.
You won't tell her about this little talking pad now, will you?
Of course not. You can trust me. Leave me alone now, so that I may best figure out the way to approach this girl who has so bewitched you.
Oh, gosh, thanks, Miss Pickens. I'll go upstairs and watch it. Thanks a lot for talking to her.
I'll speak to her, all right. Imogene Pickens will win in the end. Purity Dean will take him away from me, will she? No one stands between me and the man I love.
Where's everybody? Oh, hi, sis. What's up? Boy, you look ferocious. What, did you propose to that Leander at last, and did he say nay?
I have no time for your nonsense, Aaron. I need to enlist your aid. Why, Leander just confessed to me that he is in love with the maid who works here.
Why, it take you all week to figure that out? I knew it the first few minutes we arrived here.
No doubt that type of girl appeals to men. Any girl can see through her cheap tricks instantly.
Well, maybe you can, but I would have fallen for her myself if I hadn't fallen in love with Alice. When we're married, you're going to have to be one of the bridesmaids, too.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. You must help me to keep Leander from throwing his life away on that humble maid.
Well, what can I do about that?
Here is my plan. I will contrive to leave you and the maid alone here in this room. You will talk to her for a while, and then you will start shouting loudly. And when the room fills with people, you will tell everyone that Purity Dean was making unwelcome advances towards you, and she'll be forced to leave this inn forever.
Sis, sometimes you remind me of a flower.
Really? What kind? A rose?
No, a blooming Indian. I won't do anything to injure Purity Dean. If you do anything to hurt her, I'm going to jump right in and expose you to everybody around here.
I should have known I couldn't rely on you for any help.
Not when it comes to injuring others, you can't. I think you just ought to forget about this young Longfellow.
Never. He's the only man who has ever awakened the spark of love within my heart.
Her heart is like flint.
Suits me just fine. Hasn't caused me any annoyance up until now.
I have to spend some more time here at the factory, but I think that you ought to head for home immediately before you get into some more mischief.
I'll do my own thinking if you don't mind. In fact, I think I'll communicate with Father and ask him to transfer Leander to one of Pickett's other factories.
If you do, I'll write to Dad and I'll pay any attention to your request.
You wouldn't dare.
Yes, I would. Leander's needed here, and here is where he's going to stay.
Aaron, wait! I want to talk to you.
You're back, I see. Did you carry out my orders at the Pickens Pickle Factory?
Now everything's took care of.
Good.
How are we going to get young Longfellow back to the factory?
Well, here's my plan. You station yourself outside the door. when you see me give the signal, you come rushing in, find Longfellow, tell him there's been trouble at the factory, and he's needed at once.
But supposing he won't come?
He'll come when he hears that. Stop acting like a fool, you fool.
Well, I'm representing you, ain't I?
I warned you to curb your tongue. You profited handsomely by my alliance with you. Why, just the other day I gave you $50 of old man Logan's money.
Yeah, 2,000 for you and 50 for me.
I shall be more liberal with you once I get the ransom money from the babe's mother. Then once we get the deed to this inn, we'll all be rich.
You still think you can get away with that idea?
That's right. Once I get that deed, I'll throw the Logan family out of here, and then we'll all start making some real money.
You mean you're going to smuggle goods across the Canadian border without paying no duty?
That's right. No one will ever suspect that we're using this as a clearinghouse for smuggled goods. In a few years' time, we'll all be rich.
But I hope we don't have to spend that money in jail.
Enough, I say! Now go and station yourself outside the door. You know what to do once you get down to the factory, right?
Right. As soon as I see you in the door, I'll come running in here.
Good. I will be on my way to Rome, and Purity Dean will come crawling to me for forgiveness. Ah, Miss Pickens, you look lovely.
How do you do, Mr. Brockham?
Lovely now that I'm graced with your presence. And now for the dirty work.
If you'll excuse me, I think I'll go join Mrs. Hewlett.
One moment, Miss Pickens. I have something to say to you. Is it my imagination, or are you troubled by something?
Well,
Well, you understand, of course, that it's mere conjecture on my part, but for the past few days, I've felt you've had a longing for Leander Longfellow. Am I right?
But how could you have known my admiration for him?
Oh, well, let's not go into that right now. Let us just say that I've guessed your secret, and also the fact that common maid, Purity Dean, is standing in your way.
That's it exactly. Purity Dean stands between me and the man I love.
She can be removed for a price.
Removed?
Once Purity Dean is banished from this inn, you will have the object of your affections all to yourself, and you'll be able to capture him easily.
But how can we rid that designing maid of this inn?
It can be done, but it may require a little money.
I have a bank account of my own name, and I would gladly contribute some of my wealth to bring about Purity Dean's downfall. How much money is required?
For $1,000, I can guarantee you that maid will leave here in utter disgrace.
I shall give you my personal check for $1,000.
No checks. This is a cash transaction.
But I haven't that much cash on hand and no way of obtaining it until tomorrow.
Tomorrow will do nicely. Your word is all I need until then.
If you succeed in ridding that scheming maid of this inn, I shall not only give you $1,000, but a handsome bonus as well.
'Tis well. Then the bargain is done. In a few short hours, Purity Dean will be on her way.
Purity up, Miss Pickens?
Not yet, Leander, but I'm certain that everything will turn out all right. He must never know the length that I would go to win him. I would bankrupt myself to gain his favor.
Hey, Mr. Longfellow! Hey, Mr. Longfellow, there's been an accident down at the factory. They sent me up here to get you.
An accident? What's happened?
Well, come on, I'll tell you on the way.
him out of the way, the rest is easy. Aha! The plot thickens.
Oh, Ethelinda, there you are, and how stunning you look.
Why, thank you, Imogene. You're a vision yourself.
That gown is sure to win you many new admirers.
Dear lady, have you furthered your campaign to rid this inn of that baby that now resides here?
No, but I intend to speak to Mrs. Logan about it before dinner. Imogene agrees with me that an inn is no place to harbor a foundling. I do so most assuredly.
The infant is not a foundling.
What? Why, Mr. Frothingham, what do you mean by that remark?
Oh, dear ladies, forget I said a word about it. After all, it's not a gentleman's place to speak of a working girl's past.
Why, are you referring to the maid, Purity Dean? Of course he is. It's obvious he knows something about her he's loath to reveal.
Well, if such is the case, Mr. Frothingham,
It is your duty to tell us all that you know. We, of course, will hold it in the strictest kind of confidence.
The empty-headed whore. She couldn't keep anything to herself if her life depended on it. Well, of course, dear ladies, you must understand that I wouldn't want anything passed on that I said anything about Purity Dean. You understand that, don't you, Mrs. Hewlett?
Well, certainly, but do go on and tell us what you know. Yes, please do. I feel that you owe it to us.
And now, for some more duty work. Well, I don't mind telling you that Purity Dean and I did not meet here as strangers. We've known each other for some time past.
And did you know her well, Mr. Frothingham?
Well, I fear her devotion to me caused her a great deal of pain. Of course, I never paid any attention to her because of the differences in our position.
But why did you say that the babe found out in the barn was not a foundling? It's just what I was going to say, empty.
Hasn't it ever occurred to you, ladies, that the babe was found in the barn shortly after Miss Dean's arrival here?
Oh, do you mean that she put the baby in the barn?
What else? The babe is her own daughter. She put the baby in the barn because she feared that if she came here and applied for a job with a babe in her arms, she'd be cast away. If they discover or believe this tale, Purity Dean is doomed.
No wonder she never allowed anyone near that infant. What blind fools we've all been. If such is the case, Mr. Frothingham, why did you allow that girl to insult me when I insisted that the baby be sent from here? Why didn't you speak up then and tell us all that you know?
Dear lady, you could hardly blame me for trying to protect a lone female. Of course, I wouldn't have said anything about it if I didn't know how close-mouthed you are.
That's your own child.
Well, if you ladies will excuse me, I think I'll go upstairs and begin checking on my accounts. They've swallowed my tail just as I thought they would. Purity Dean, you are finished!
Mrs. Logan, I must see you here instantly. What are you going to do, Ethelinda? Why, I'm going to expose Purity Dean immediately, of course. She's hoodwinked us all long enough.
What's the trouble with you?
Trouble enough. Miss Pickens and I demand that you send that obnoxious maid, Purity Dean, away from here without delay.
Send Purity away? Well, why? Oh, what for? Oh, what's she done?
We have positive proof that she put the baby in the barn herself and that the child belongs to her.
Wait a second.
Get your things on, girl, and get that baby. You are both to leave here immediately, and you are never ever to return.
Stop! You've no right to say such things to me.
How dare you speak to me as right? You're never met Mortimer Frothingham before you met him here? Well, there, you see, guilt is written all over her face. I demand that she be sent from here without delay.
Land of day! I don't know what to say! Where's Leander?
He was hauled down to the factory at some sort of accident, I believe.
Well, we'll just have to wait for him to get back before we can do anything. Cause Purity ain't leaving here without him knowing about it.
Well, that's preposterous. Why should you try to delay this servant's departure? I think she should be sent from here now. Never fear, Ethelinda. I'm sure once that Leander learns of her duplicity, he'll cast her aside. Come, let us go outside and discuss our plans privately.
You don't believe this charge they have against me, do you, Mrs. Logan?
Well, of course not, gal. I don't believe you'd story me.
No, indeed I wouldn't. Not after all the kindness you've given to me.
Well, what are you gonna do now, gal?
I'm going to go down to the factory and find Leander before they fill his head with those unjust fabrications.
Now, that's a spirit. I gotta go look after the dinner. You can go on down that factory and you'll give a whoop for her.
I sense the villainy of Mortimer Frothingham behind these attacks. Why, he's always out to cause me misery and pain. But if Leander turns against me and believes ill of me, well, then who will comfort me in my darkest hour? Oh, why is it no woman who always has to pay? Would that some miracle would occur that would prove my innocence and show my brother for his true colors?
Ah, Purity. Have you come to your senses at last and decided to abide by my terms?
You fiend! You've even descended to spreading false and malicious rumors about me in order to tarnish my good name.
Why, Purity, who ever put those silly little thoughts in that pretty little head of yours? Oh, I do admit that in an unguarded moment I mentioned we knew each other shortly before we arrived here, but that is all.
You would say anything to save your own skin.
Well, after all, it is the only skin I have.
I know you now for the libertine you are. At your very next meeting with Leander Longfellow, he shall give you the thrashing you so richly deserve.
I have nothing to fear on that score, dear lady. You've looked upon that low fellow for the very last time.
What do you mean? What fresh villainy are you up to?
I mean that the man you look to for protection is locked in his pickle factory with a time bomb ready to blow him to smithereens!
I must run to him! Get the time!
Nothing can save him now, my proud beauty! Oh, Purity, come, fly away with me. I'll dress you in silks and satins and cover you with diamonds forever.
Unhand me, you knave! The very sight of you fills me with love!
You are coming with me if I have to carry you every step of the way! At last, my proud beauty, you are in my power! Put her down! It's Leander Longfellow!
Seems like I got here just in the nick of time, don't it? Two of my men let me out of the factory, and now your time has come.
Stop! Stop where you are!
Leander! He's got a gun!
No, Longfellow, don't shoot! Don't you give me another chance! I'm too young to die!
Shoot him!
Leander! What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna kill this dog before he gets rid of his bow.
Oh, be done with it, Leander! I beg of you!
Frothingham, and he stole my money and he skipped the country. And now Mom and me are gonna have to move out of the U-Land Inn and move over to the hills into the poorhouse in Ionia. Well, he told me he'd make me a fortune, and how did I know he was a thief?
Oh, have care, Mr. Logan. There might still be time to thwart Mortimer Frothingham.
Oh, tell me, please.
Why, we can call the authorities and have them trace the rogue. If they find him, there's always a chance of recovering your savings. You have a receipt proving you gave him the money, haven't you?
No, I never thought to ask for one until after he left.
Oh, the pity of it. Why, I'm afraid it's impossible to appeal to the law. That scoundrel was even worse than I imagined him to be. Thank fortune for me that I repulsed his advances and caused him to desist.
So now you see why you're going to have to leave this place. Ma and me ain't nothing but a pair of paupers now. And what we're going to do with the little child we've been taking care of, I haven't any idea. We can't take her to the poorhouse with us.
Oh, don't worry about the babe, Mr. Logan. I shall take her with me wherever I go and look after her.
Oh, Fury, you're such a nice girl. You're like a heroine to Ma and me. Boy, you know, after all this has happened to me, I'm beginning to feel my age for the very first time.
Oh, try not to worry too much, Mr. Logan. Perhaps something will happen at the last moment that will prevent your leaving here.
Oh, I'm afraid not. It's too late. Nothing. Save us now.
Stop, girl, for I have something to say to you.
Not now, Miss Pickens. Some other time, if you don't mind.
But I do mind. I wish to speak to you here and now, and I command that you hear me out.
As you wish, but please be as brief as possible.
I have a proposition for you. If you shall promise to leave this inn here and now, I shall give you $1,000 in cash.
You would pay me $1,000 just to have me leave here?
With the proviso, of course, that you never darken these doors again.
Even without my presence here, Leander Longfellow would never turn his attentions to you. For once you covet something that your great money cannot buy. Leander Longfellow is not for sale.
She knows. And who could have told her? The impertinent minx. I shall crush her as I would a flower. But surely you can't think that I am interested in Leander.
Think it? Why, I know it. We're not talking now as maid to mistress, but as woman to woman. All the money of Pickens Pickles can't make Leander yours. His heart belongs to me, and to me alone.
We shall see. Even were you foolish enough to go through a marriage ceremony with Leander, you would be wedded and parted within the same hour.
It's easy to see now why you never lost an opportunity to insult or humiliate me. Why, you've been raised from infancy to believe that money can buy everything and anything you desire. Well, for once you are wrong. The humble working girl has won what the great heiress can never buy.
I shall add another $1,000 to my offer. $2,000 is yours if you leave this inn tonight.
Nay, I will not soil my hands with your filthy lucre.
Silence, do you hear? Well then, name your price and I shall pay it.
Woman, do you think you can buy my soul? Why, when I leave here, I shall do so of my own volition. And until then, I demand you spare me any more of your insults.
Since when does a mere maid place demands on a person of my proud position?
Your position is proud only because of the money you inherited. Why, if you were forced to earn your own bread, you'd starve.
I was just about to call you. I cannot endure the insults of this maid any longer. I demand that you send her away.
It will be not necessary to send me away, for I am leaving this inn tonight without delay.
Oh, Purity, wait a minute, I can't
I'm
let you...
sorry, Leander, nothing you would say will make me change my mind. But before before tonight is over, I shall be on my way.
What did you say to her to make her want to leave here like that?
What did I say? Why, Leander, I was merely following my promise and begging the girl to reconsider and marry you.
But she didn't leave here for that reason. You must have said something else to her.
I must plant the seeds of suspicion against the maid in Leander's mind. Poor Leander, how I hate disillusioning you, but hasn't it ever occurred to you that there's somebody else in Purity Dean's life?
What?
She is leaving here tonight to join someone else. You have been mistaken in her all along. She is not what she seems.
I don't believe a word of that. Purity is pure. Pure as the driven snow.
She may have been, but like the snow, she too drifted.
Never. Purity is as pure now as the day she was born.
Well, she only wanted you to believe that. But I wonder, would you say that if you know what I do? For I tell you, Leander, I have discovered Purity Dean's secret.
Oh, you have? Well, hurry up and tell me what it is then.
Aha! That shot struck home. And now to further my advantage. Purity Dean has refused to marry you because of her secret, which she refused to divulge. I have uncovered the true facts. Purity Dean is the wife of Mortimer Frothingham, and she is leaving here tonight with her child so that she may join him.
What?
I hate to be the one to deal you such a blow, Leander, but it's time that you stop living in this dream world that you've been occupying since Purity Dean arrived here and hypnotized you.
Well, I don't believe a word of what you're saying. Purity hates Frothingham, and I can breeze to know it. Why, she never married that hound.
She only pretended to dislike him in order to win your favor.
That's enough, do you hear? I don't want to listen to no more nonsense such as the good name of the girl I'm going to marry.
You mustn't turn your back on the one and only true friend you have, Leander. I simply must find out how he feels in regard to me.
Why, nobody can say friends with me and say such things about Purity.
I never intended being unkind to the girl. It's just that I'm naturally frank and straightforward, and I find it difficult to conceal the truth from you. Why would you believe your Purity even accused me of having designs on you?
Designs on me? What kind of design?
I know it sounds silly, but she actually said that I was in love with you and that I was trying to win you for a husband.
What?
I know it sounds absurd, Leander, still. Stranger things have happened, haven't
Oh,
they?
they sure have. I ain't never heard anything tell funnier than you and me being married.
Is there nothing I can do to win this man's heart? No.
Purity knows she's the only gal in the whole world for me.
Perhaps she felt that if she left here, you would be drawn to some other girl for comfort.
Never. If I can't have her, I'll die a single man.
Oh,
What's the matter? You look sick.
I've been suffering from a headache all evening. I must ask you to excuse me, Leander. Another mistake I've made. Another step in the wrong direction. I simply cannot turn back now. I must triumph in the end.
Hey, Purity, where are you going?
I've come to say farewell and to thank you for all you've done.
But you can't go out tonight. It's 10 o'clock. Stay here at least till morning.
I'm going away, I tell you.
You're going away?
Yes, I'm going away.
She means that she's going away.
But before I go, Leander, I've something to say.
Oh, you got something to say?
Yes, I've something to say.
Gosh, she's got something to say. Well, go ahead and say it.
This is what I have to say, Leander. Don't ever forget me. And when you're old and gray, remember the girl who loved you more than life itself, but who had to leave you because she could not bear her secret to you.
Is it because of the secret that you're leaving me, Purity?
No, Now there's another secret that causes me to depart.
You mean to tell me you got another secret on top of the one you had before?
That's right, clever Leander. How I shall miss you. You were always so understanding.
Well, now listen, Purity. You got to stay here at least till morning. You owe it to the poor helpless babe there. Then I'll drive you over to the station myself tonight, tomorrow morning.
You really mean that?
I sure do, by gosh.
Well, I'll stay until morning if you wish. I'll go put the babe back in her crib now. Excuse me, young man. Do you have room for my maid and myself for the night, please?
Well, sure, man. We got plenty of room.
Oh, thank you very much. Come in, Letty. Letty, come in and bring the bags.
Well, Jonathan, these two ladies are going to be staying the night with us here.
Well, that's fine. Well, I sure why not?
Walk this way, ladies.
Come on, Mrs. Hogue. Don't leave me alone. He might be a villain, too.
What'd you mean by that, man?
I'm not sure. I think she just doesn't like being alone away from home at night.
Well, anyhow, you can have rooms 5 and 6. They're up 2 stairs, turn left, go down the hall, down 3 more stairs, over to the right, down the hall again, down 3 more, doors on the left. Can't miss it. Wow, Jeff Lund, what are you doing back here?
Leander! What is that man doing here?
Take it easy, Purity. I'll take care of him.
Wasn't my fault what happened down at the factory that night, folks. Honest, it wasn't. Sure, I had no idea there was a bomb in that package. It was all Frottingham's doing, and I was just following out his orders.
What are you doing back here now?
Well, I got a job promised over in Honey Eye Falls, but I walked so far, I'm all tuckered out.
How dare you show your face back here? Why we should have you arrested?
Yeah, she's right, Lon. I might have been killed if 2 of my men hadn't followed you and decided to let me out of the factory.
But I ain't working for Frothingham any longer. Please, let me sit and rest a while.
Do you know what's become of your former master?
No, ma'am, I don't. I understand he skipped the country, and I hope it's for keeps.
Leander! Leander! Got great news! Come on, quick!
Okay, sit a while if you must, Lon, but remember, I'll be watching you. You aren't going to get off so lucky next time. Come on, Purity. I'm watching you, Lon.
Sure, it's just as well they don't know I'm here following Frothingham's orders. I tried to get away from him, but I had no luck. He found out where I was hiding, and he sent me a letter. He said to meet him here, and if I didn't meet him here, he was going to tell the law where they could find me. Why must I always be under the thumb of that snake?
My good man, are you in charge here? I wish a room for the night.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I think the fellow that runs this place. Let me ring the bell.
Jeff Lund, the ex-convict. How do you happen to be here?
Shh. Who are you?
An old and esteemed friend. Silence, you fool!
Well, I be jiggered.
We mustn't be discovered here together.
Well, you sure had me, Buffalo.
And I shall fool everyone here tonight. Tonight you shall see the fulfillment of all my schemes. I do not know the meaning of defeat.
What are you going to do?
Now listen carefully. Once old man Logan, come here. Once old man Logan and his wife are fast asleep, I want you to steal into their room and chloroform them. I want you to go into the safe, pull the deed away from the safe, and bring it to me here.
Chlorify him? Oh, no, don't ask me to do that.
I'm not asking you to do that, I'm telling you to do that. Once I get that deed in my possession, I'll tear it up and forge a new deed and have full ownership of the Uland deed.
What do you want me to do with that child you made me bring here?
Once I get the papers in my hand, I'll tear them up, then burn down.
No, wait a minute now. I'm not going to stand by and see you do that. You can tear up those papers, but you're not going to burn up that baby.
Egad, who said anything about burning up a baby? Don't be a fool, you fool.
If you folks want anything, just holler down to me.
Somebody's here. We must hide. Hide quickly. Hide. Where? Hide. I'm going to hide. Here, under the desk, at once.
Why, is there something I can do for you, man?
Oh, I was just about to ring the bell when you arrived. Are you the owner of this fine inn?
Oh, that's right. I'm Jonathan Logan, the boss of this place.
Jonathan Logan, where you been loping all this time? And why ain't you help me with the serving?
And you must be the fine and charming innkeeper of this man here.
That's right. She's my keeper.
Oh, I feel weak. Oh, please allow me to sit down for a spell. Oh.
Well, sure, man. Why, come on over here. Why, sit yourself down. Can I get you something?
Oh, no, I'll be all right now, thank you.
Is there something that's troubling you, man?
Will you keep still, Jonathan? Can't you see the poor thing's so weak she ain't able to talk?
I ain't never seen a female that weak.
You see before you see a poor woman in distress, a mother whose heart has been broken. Do you remember the storm that ravaged the village side just 12 nights ago?
Aye, we do, ma'am, yes.
It was during that storm that I was held up and robbed while driving down the deserted road. In an effort to protect my one and only child, I was struck a severe blow on the head that caused me to lose consciousness.
What's this you're saying, ma'am?
Well, a farmer found me lying across the road while he brought me to his farmhouse, and his wife nursed me back to health. But they could tell me naught of my missing child.
Please, now that's a pity.
Oh, tell me, have you heard news of the little cherub being found here?
Was it a boy or a girl, babe, ma'am?
A sweet little innocent girl. Oh, tell me quickly that you heard news and ease the suffering of a mother's heart.
Oh, we found the babe, ma'am, and it's out in the... I'll go get it for you.
Oh, I'll go get the babe. I'll get the babe.
Oh, do tell me, where was the little one found?
Oh, out in the barn, in a basket.
Oh, yes, I had her in a basket when I lost her. Oh, I hope she's okay and that my footsteps have brought me in the right direction.
Oh, you should be fine. She'll be fine.
Here's the babe, baby. Is this your babe?
I must tell my friends who are waiting nearby that all is safe now. Please, I shall go and return directly.
Stop! Where are you going with that bag?
Oh, that's okay, Fury. That's the babe's mom.
Oh, yes, please allow me to pass.
That voice, that face, it be? How came you to know the babe was here, madam?
I found her by accident. Oh, please allow me to pass. I'm too weak to stand here.
Oh, just let me give him one tender little kiss of farewell.
I was just trying to return the stolen baby to her rightful mother.
And who stole the babe? You?
Of course not. I had nothing to do with it. It was Jet Lunn who stole the baby.
That's a lie, Frothingham! You used your hold on me to make me steal that baby!
Why, you nut! I shall have you! Get on one more.
Oh, my man! That's him! That's the rascal who stole our little one!
There, I told you, Longfellow, that it was Lunn who stole the baby.
Well, where is my babe? Is she safe and sound? Does this baby belong to that madam?
Yes, she does, ma'am. Mortimer Frothingham made me steal that child and bring her here to him.
Oh, my little Wilhelmina! I feared you were lost forever!
Well, Frothy, we meet again. I got here just in time to ruin your evening, I hope.
Nellie? You? Here?
What's the trouble, Frothy? You don't seem at all happy to see me. And I expected such a royal welcome. Mortimer Frothingham? Are you another of Frothy's conquests? Certainly not. Who are you? I'm popularly known as Nellie, the beautiful cloak model. But my real name is Mrs. Mortimer Frothingham.
Mortimer Frothingham! You fool! You've ruined everything!
Oh, I'm not any prouder of the relationship than you are. I married this human vulture in a moment of weakness, and I've regretted it ever since.
Curses! I'm through with you forever! I'll get him! Come here, Mom!
I brought the sheriff along, and he's waiting outside now for Frothy. I'm afraid he won't get off so easy this time. Stealing a child is a very serious offense.
Oh, then was it you who sent me the unsigned message? Tell me my babe was here?
That's right, I sent you a telegram as soon as I discovered the child's whereabouts.
Thank you so much. I'll always be grateful.
Sheriff's got them both. Let them get off easy, but that's the last we'll see of old Mortimer Frothingham.
Anybody will see of him, I hope. And now I must run along. Frothy has some valuable things belonging to me, and I intend to get them along with the gold out of his teeth. It will be a sorry day for him when he double-crossed Nellie, the beautiful cloak model.
You're the sweetest babe I've ever seen, madam. I've come to love her in the time I've been taking care of her. Thank you very much, miss. And may I ask what your name is, please? My name is Dean. Purity Dean. Purity Dean? You are Purity Dean? Oh, to think of finding you here. What a small world we live in after all. But I don't understand. Oh, let me explain. Long ago, my parents were so very poor, they had to place me in an orphanage when I was just a few weeks old. Fortunately, wealthy folks adopted me and brought me up in ignorance of my real origin. But how does this all concern me? Just before she died, my foster mother confided in me. She found out quite by accident I had a little sister whose name was Purity. Yes, dear, we are sisters. I intended to search the world for you, but I was taken ill, and upon my return from the hospital, I was faced with the loss of my little babe. You are my sister? Yes, we are sisters. You never knew of my existence, Purity, because you two were placed in an orphanage when you were just a few weeks old. But you shall never know the meaning of poverty again, because I am a wealthy woman, and I shall share half of my fortune with you. My dear.
She ain't gonna need no money, ma'am. I'm gonna take care of her.
Oh, Leander, how can you say such a thing now that you know my past?
You mean that was the secret you were talking about?
Yes, you see, I never knew anything about my birth.
Well, being born ain't no secret. It happens to all of us, by God.
We had nothing to be ashamed of, Purity. Our parents were respectful and came of good stock.
I'm sorry for all the harsh words I've said to you, Purity. Can you ever forgive me?
Why, of course. I have so much to be happy for tonight that I couldn't bear ill will toward anyone.
I hope you and Leander will be very happy together. I always knew that Frothingham was a scoundrel. Why, he turned our heads against our own dear, sweet little Purity.
Hooray for you, Mother!
How dare you! How dare you! Why, I'm much too young to have a son as old as you are. Come along, Imogene.
Oh, we must attend to the little one, Purity. Will you come along with us?
She'll be up in a few minutes, ma'am. I got something to say to her first.
Oh, but don't be long. We have so much to say to each other.
Is that a real baby?
Listen to this, folks. We're all going to be rich. Leander's pack is going to be put on the market. I got the acceptance right here.
But what happened is this, Leander? You never told anyone.
Well, it's my pickle compass.
A pickle compass. You know, you take a jar of pickles, you open it up, you take a fork, take a pickle out, you put the compass on the small end of the pickle.
And with that compass on the end of the pickle, you can tell in which direction that the compass, the juice is going to squirt once it comes out of the pickle.
I always knew that boy was a wonder!
And the compass will work on grapefruits, too.
I'm going to cut you in on half the profits, too, Uncle.
Oh, man, yes, great news. Now I don't have to tell Ma nothing about going to the poorhouse. Oh, boy. Hey, you.
What do you mean
Well, there.
You explain yourself to me, Jonathan Logan!
Well, I guess you ain't got no reason to turn me down now, Purity.
No, I've no secret at all.
Well, then you'll marry me and change your name to Longfellow?
Why, yes, but to you I'll always remain just Purity.
Oh, Purity, pure as the driven snow.